And if they want that to stop, they will have to take it from me. Since my temple recommend expired around 2021, I have been trying to get it renewed. On this channel and publicly, I've been trying to model a position of someone who is talking candidly and honestly about the problems in the church while remaining actively engaged. There are many in the church who need this space to be held, and I've done my best for them. But today, it became clear that I will never obtain a temple recommend, not while remaining true to the principles of honesty and integrity the church instilled in me. The standards of honesty that members of the First Presidency and Quorum of the 12 failed to uphold. That failure to uphold those standards was presented to Dallin H. Oakes in a 3,500 word document, which the Office of the First Presidency requested I send to him for formal investigation. The only response he offered, regarding his remarks at the University of Virginia, was simply to send me to a church apologist institution. He failed to defend any of his colleagues and couldn't even defend himself personally against the evidence presented to him. It was evidence of 11 instances of public dishonesty by 7 of the 15 top leaders of the church, and he was assigned to investigate it. His reply contained no opinions of his own making on the matter of his own honesty and that of his fellow apostles and presidency members. He offered no defense of his own making. In failing to defend what he promised he would investigate, it is a tacit admission of guilt. This dishonesty was the basis of my opposing votes, and given that neither I nor my state president received any personal denial that Dallin H. Oakes and 6 other apostles had lied publicly, then why should I be expected to sustain men who Dallin H. Oakes himself tacitly admitted were lying, some of them repeatedly, while acting as apostles and representatives of Jesus Christ? This is the impossible position me and my local leaders have been put in. I can't sustain the Quorum of the 12 and First Presidency because they have tacitly admitted to us that they are liars, and somehow feel justified to the extent they don't even need to defend it. In not sustaining them, I cannot gain a temple recommend. But why should I have to sustain men who lie while claiming to speak for Jesus in order to be able to go and worship in the temple? No one can answer this question. But what I have been told is that I shouldn't be calling them liars publicly. I was told that by the same local leaders who bore witness to Dallin H. Oakes' failure to defend himself or the other church leaders. From previous experience, this seems to be the last port of call for local church leaders to become the tone police. It's not that you can't say these things, just don't say them this way. The senior leaders of the LDS Church are lying, and yet I am punished by denial of a temple recommend. And it goes further. In failing to obtain a temple recommend through these conversations, I am unable to use the priesthood for blessings or ordinances. I am paying the price for the dishonesty of the First Presidency and Quorum of the 12. I am unable to enter the temples that they are allowed to dedicate, using a priesthood that I am no longer allowed to exercise. Setting apart Sarah Delaney of 21st Century Saints as a stake safeguarding officer could likely be the last time I will exercise the priesthood. I have done everything this system has asked of me, in good faith, up to and including going through the priesthood ranks to have the evidence of dishonesty amongst the senior leaders of the church addressed by those senior leaders of the church. My reward? Second-class membership in this church. Because apparently you can't seek after the truth in this church, not without being punished. So why don't they just go the whole hog and excommunicate me? Well, I think the logic goes that they can hold me in this limbo space as a second-class member of the church who cannot attend the temple and use the priesthood. So they can silo me there. They don't need to go down the excommunication road. As far as they're concerned, I'm made impotent, and I'm not able to get what I want out of the church, and that is punishment enough. They don't need to excommunicate me with all the negative PR that would come with. The church also probably feels like they have more control over me, because at the moment they feel they can micromanage every aspect of my church participation. But you know what? They can't. I am still a member of this church, something that everyone celebrated as my choice when I was 8 years old. And I will continue to engage with this church with integrity, honesty, and a refusal to accept that those who claim to speak for God should be allowed to lie to us with impunity. I will continue to use my priesthood and my membership in this church to make a difference. And if they want that to stop, they will have to take it from me.